This evening, first, violence erupts in Georgetown. A morning in Agricola turned deadly as 28-year-old Nicholas Narine was fatally shot. His brother retaliates in a shocking twist of gunfire, and the suspect is still on the run. We have the latest details in this unfolding tragedy, plus a graduation milestone. More than 500 graduates from the Guyana Online Academy of Learning are celebrated as President Ali hails the program as a revolution in education. We'll share their stories and what this means for Ghana's future. Also, because we care, a record $11.28 billion has been disbursed to parents and guardians across the nation through the government's cash grant and uniform support program. How families are spending and what it means for back-to-school readiness. Meanwhile, housing rumors busted. The Ministry of Housing and Water fires back at social media rumors about Diamond Housing Scheme, reassuring that all homes and lots are allocated to Guyanese citizens. We'll separate facts from fiction tonight. Finally, tensions in the U.S. As protests against immigration crackdowns continue, the Trump administration deploys Marines and National Guard troops for a fourth night of violence in Los Angeles. We'll bring you the latest from America's streets. All this and more coming up on Headline News Update. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for June 10, 2025. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, Agricola residents were shaken on Monday as a deadly shooting left 28-year-old Nicholas Narine dead. His 22-year-old brother, Keon Narine, arrested for retaliatory gunfire, and 27-year-old Raphael Bollers, the prime suspect in the initial killing, still at large. The violent incident unfolded within minutes in the East Bank Demerara community, leaving neighbors fearful and authorities scrambling to restore calm. The shooting occurred around 8:15 a.m. at Titus Street, Agricola, where Narine's father said his son was cleaning a drain near Boller's yard.
He's now left him for go back at the station. When a colleague of him come and said, his son just get shoot up, I said, man, I'm making joke. He said, no, come. So when we go around to the other last street where he was walking in the alley there now, the bullets then were done hit. He was already dropped. When he dropped, he dead right away.
Police investigations revealed that Bollers, armed with a handgun, discharged several rounds at Narine, who was struck 3 times in the abdomen, back, and right upper hand. Narine was rushed to the Diamond Hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival.
By the time with other colleagues and things, we decided to fetch you out, put in the car, head you after the hospital, and so he was done actually dead. So when we do and the doctor do get a look at it, the doctor said no, he gone, he dead on the spot because the first bullet knocked him straight in the heart.
A 9mm spent shell was recovered from the scene. Police have questioned witnesses and continued their search for Bollers, who has been named in a wanted bulletin.
The guy up there shooting here, Raphael Bollers, right? He sent a message last night that he can kill my son and my whole family, right? So the intentions that he had from last night, he carried out.
In a related development, Narine's 22-year-old brother, Keon Narine, was arrested later the same day for allegedly firing multiple shots at the home of 60-year-old carpenter Gideon Bollers, Raphael's father. The incident took place at Brutus Street, Agricola, shortly after Narine was killed. Police said Keon Narine arrived on a motorcycle, fired several rounds into the house, and fled. Officers later found him at home, where an AR-15 rifle and ammunition were found and seized. During questioning, Keon reportedly admitted to retaliating for his brother's killing. Keon Narine remains in custody as investigations continue. On a different note, President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali hailed the third batch of graduates of the Guyana Online Academy of Learning as living proof of our revolution in education, marking a significant step in the country's journey towards opportunity, equity, and human development. At a packed ceremony held on Monday at the National Cultural Center in Georgetown, addressing over 500 graduates who had earned master's degrees in various fields from various universities, President Ali emphasized that their achievements symbolize more than personal success.
Congratulations to each of you graduating here today. Congratulations to your families, your friends, your mentors, your children, who watched you stay up late studying, and the employees who give you the time and space to pursue your goals. Congratulations to your support system. Today is a proud moment, not just for you, but for our nation. Because today, we are not only celebrating personal achievement, but we are also strengthening our country's future. Each of you represents a new addition to Guyana's growing pool of qualified, capable, and skilled men and women. And let me tell you, in a country that is undergoing some of the most rapid transformations in the world, this is no small thing. You are part of a transformative Guyana, and we applaud you.
President Ali said the Gold Scholarship Program has transformed the nation's approach to education. It has redefined how it is perceived and who has the opportunity to benefit from it.
Gone are the days when pursuing post-secondary education meant leaving your job, uprooting your family, or moving to a distant town or even to another country. Gold has brought the classroom into people's home, into their phones, into their routines. It has brought learning to mothers and fathers, nurses and farmers, teachers, clerks, public servants, entrepreneurs, ordinary Guyanese with extraordinary dreams.
President Ali concluded by reminding graduates that their education marks the beginning and not an end. Guyana needs their skills, their voice, and their passion.
The future of Guyana does not rest in oil barrels or buildings. It rests in the minds, the hearts, and the hands of people like you. It rests in our human capital.
Launched in 2021, GOAL was created to dismantle barriers to higher education, especially for rural residents, single parents, and full-time workers. Since its inception, the program has awarded over 39,000 scholarships, nearly double the initial target of 20,000, with women comprising more than 70% of the recipients. Monday's ceremony saw 580 students conferred with master's degree, students who successfully attained bachelor's degree, postgraduate diplomas, and specialized certificates are graduating today. With free access now extended to the University of Guyana, benefiting over 11,000 students, the government's education reform aims to equip the nation's youth with skills critical to sustaining Guyana's expanding economy. Moving on, the Ministry of Housing and Water, through the Central Housing and Planning Authority, has issued a statement to address what it describes as recent misinformation circulating on social media regarding the Diamond Housing Scheme at Little and Great Diamond, East Bank Demerara. The ministry affirmed that all allottees in the scheme are legally recognized Guyanese, thereby debunking rumors that non-Guyanese individuals receive house lots or turnkey homes. The program prioritizes Guyanese citizens, particularly former squatters, relocated from the zero-tolerance river dam zone along the East Bank Demerara, including communities such as Herstellin, Covert and Garden, and Prospect. Out of 291 identified squatter households, 228 have been allotted land or government-constructed homes. Although 37 Venezuelan squatters were found, they were deemed ineligible for the scheme, which exclusively serves Guyanese nationals. The ministry also certified that government-built turnkey homes cost $5.2 million, not the inflated $7 million as reported on social media. The wooden houses seen in the area were built by the occupants themselves on allotted land, with no involvement from the ministry in their construction. Infrastructure development is ongoing, with initial works completed and upgrades valued at $780 million set to commence by mid-June 2025. These include reinforced concrete roads, road shoulders, and drainage improvements, which are contracted to local small businesses by proper procurement procedures. The ministry stated that sharing sensational claims serves only to mislead citizens and discredit the National Housing Program and ongoing development efforts, and that such claims should be avoided. Stick around when we return. Ministry of Education completes 2025 Because We Care Cash Grant distribution, and Red Hill residents to receive first-time access to potable water.
This Father's Day, Digicel is showing love to the real MVPs, all the father figures who hold it down every day. And we're not talking socks and ties. We're talking an 85-inch TV to watch his favorite sports and a barbecue grill fit for the king of the backyard. 4 lucky winners will take home this epic combo. Just top up $1,000 or more and boom, you're entered into the draw. Give dad the gift of entertainment. Top up now, grill and chill with Digicel this Father's Day.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing June 16, 2025 to produce an official list of electors for the conduct of general and regional elections on September 1, 2025. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will post the preliminary list of electors in all registration divisions for you to check if you are listed and if your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed on the same divisional list as the person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Friday, June 20, 2025. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0277-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. How small make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Education has wrapped up its nationwide rollout of the 2025 Because We Care Cash Grant and School Uniform and Supplies Grant, disbursing a total of $11.28 billion to parents and guardians of more than 205,000 students. Each beneficiary received $55,000, a $50,000 cash grant, and a $5,000 uniform allowance to offset back-to-school expenses. The distribution of the cash grant began on May 12th in Region 9 and subsequently progressed to the other regions. Disbursements were carried out across all 11 education districts and Georgetown. The capital city led all areas with $2.10 billion paid to families of 38,284 pupils. The ministry thanked regional and district education officers, head teachers, and support staff for ensuring a smooth distribution process. Recognizing that some parents may have missed their scheduled pickup, officials said a mop-up period will be announced soon to accommodate late collectors. The Because We Care Cash Grant, which is available to each private and public school student annually, was this year increased to $50,000 from $40,000. The initiative underscores the government's commitment to educational equity and to alleviating financial pressures on families, ensuring that all children in Guyana can begin the school year fully equipped. In other news, residents of Red Hill, a riverine community along Barima River in Region 1, Barima Waini, are set to receive potable water for the first time following the successful drilling of a new well. The initiative, spearheaded by the Ministry of Housing and Water through the Guyana Water Incorporated, will benefit approximately 95% of households in the central cluster and provide clean water to the local school and health center. It marks a significant shift from the community's previous reliance on rainwater and unsafe river water. During a recent visit, Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell confirmed the well's strong water output and announced that work on the distribution network will begin by the end of this week. Local residents will be hired to lay the pipelines, providing employment and fostering community ownership of the project. Potable water is expected to be available to homes by month end. In the Mabaruma sub-region, nearly a dozen wells have been commissioned this year alone. Minister Crowell noted that the development efforts in Red Hill extend beyond water, with over $150 million invested in infrastructure, ICT hubs, and other services since 2020. Regional Chairman Brentnell Ashley added that the Regional Democratic Council has received over $8 billion in funding for improving across key sectors, including road, health, education, and agriculture. Among the ongoing projects is a new access road linking Waruta to Red Hill. The government's efforts aim to ensure equitable development and improve living standards for hinterland communities like Red Hill. Don't go away after the break. Cuba's small businesses and families struggle as Trump's travel ban takes effect, and Chinese students finish college entrance exams amid slowing economy, rising stress for youth.
This Father's Day, Digicel is showing love to the real MVPs, all the father figures who hold it down every day. And we're not talking socks and ties. We're talking an 85-inch TV to watch his favorite sports and a barbecue grill fit for the king of the backyard. 4 lucky winners will take home this epic combo. Just top up $1,000 or more and boom, you're entered into the draw. Give dad the gift of entertainment. Top up now, grill and chill with Digicel this Father's Day.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. How small make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services. 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing June 16, 2025 to produce an official list of electors for the conduct of general and regional elections on September 1, 2025. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will post the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can make a claim for registration, change, correction to your particulars, or you can object to the inclusion of anyone who you believe should not be on the list. If you are desirous of making a claim or objection, you must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to do so. Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of these transactions. All GCOM registration offices will be open Monday, June 16 to Friday, June 20, 2025 from 8 to 18 hours. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0277-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela agreed on Monday to maintain open diplomatic communication after tensions arose over alleged mercenary travel from Trinidad. Minister Sion Sobers and Venezuelan Ambassador Alvaro Sanchez Corder reaffirmed the country's strong cultural ties. Trinidad's Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated both sides discussed mutual concerns and agreed on transparent dialogue. The diplomatic spat has raised regional concerns, with neighboring countries closely watching the unfolding tensions and urging a peaceful resolution. The Trump administration's travel ban has kicked in, and Cuba is one of the countries affected. Travel from the island will be further reduced, and the U.S. Embassy in Havana will stop issuing visas. Al Jazeera's Ed Augustine reports.
Entrepreneur Greta Tilan produces natural beauty products. She imports some of her raw materials from the US.
We try to bring products, the raw material that we need to run our business. It's tiny in comparison to what a big business would import, but it works for us.
Like many other business owners, she's been hit by the Trump administration's hawkish policies towards the island. They include a partial travel ban on Cuba that comes into effect on Monday. On Friday, people lined up outside the US Embassy to collect their visas for the last time.
There should be a change here, but I don't think that they should strangle us.
But are they strangling you?
Yes, they're stopping us from leaving.
The travel ban is just the latest in a series of powerful new sanctions the Trump administration has imposed on this island. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said the one-party state is an enemy of humanity and that more measures are in the pipeline. The number of tourists visiting Cuba has halved since 2017. Chanel hosted a major fashion show on this boulevard a decade ago. It sees few tourists these days. Economists say the travel ban and other White House measures target the country's main sources of income.
It creates a kind of fear among people to deter them from going backwards and forwards between Cuba and the United States. And so the airlines will reduce their flights, which is already happening, and so there will be this stream of money that's coming in, often in cash, will dry up. Now, for a lot of people, that's how they survive at the moment in Cuba.
For decades, Cubans are among the most privileged Latin American migrants in the US. But conditions are not the same for people like Heidi Sanchez, who was separated from her daughter in Florida in April.
When the plane touched down in Cuba, they let me call my husband. I asked him, "Did they give you our daughter?" He said, "Yes, Haiti, I have our daughter." And that was a huge relief because they put many in centers.
And with new restrictions coming into place, people on this troubled island are bracing for even more pain. Ed Augustine, Al Jazeera, Havana.
The U.S. government has ordered the deployment of Marines and additional National Guard troops after a fourth night of violence in Los Angeles. Demonstrations against the Trump administration's crackdown on immigration have now spread to multiple cities across the U.S. Al Jazeera's Phil Lava reports.
Day 4 of protests in downtown Los Angeles. Day 4 of fury at Donald Trump's immigration sweeps. Shame on you, protesters shouted police. And then the mayhem begins. Rubber bullets fired by officers, the crowd fleeing in all directions. The National Guard looking on in their riot gear, and there are more of them on the way. 4,000 in total, sent by the president over Governor Gavin Newsom's head, who he's even discussed having arrested.
He's an incompetent governor. Look at the job he's doing in California. He's destroying one of our great states. And if I didn't get involved, if we didn't bring the Guard in, and we would bring more in if we needed it, because we have to make sure there's going to be law and order.
700 Marines are being sent too. The battle on the streets now heading for the courts. A furious California is suing the administration. Newsom saying Donald Trump's violation of the US Constitution is an overstep of his authority. We will not let this stand. This is what sparked it all. Agents from ICE, that is the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, scooping up undocumented migrants over recent days, in many cases not violent criminals, but day labourers, families being ripped apart by an immigration policy hitting what is the country's most liberal, progressive state with an enormous migrant population.
We need to stop the raids. This should not be happening in our city. It is not warranted, and the only thing it does is contribute to chaos.
This is the chaos she's talking about. Hundreds of police trying to quell localized protests, dodging missiles that could kill, arresting those who get too close. Under the watchful eye of former President Ronald Reagan, a Californian Republican, the impacts of a policy from the current Republican president borne out on the streets of America's second largest city.
Police had managed to hold these protesters at this intersection for about an hour or so, but they've just started moving again. Every now and again, somebody throws a firework, they throw a projectile, and then the officers move towards them. There is a bus parked nearby ready to take people away if they're arrested, and officers have their handcuffs ready. They are prepared.
And as protests continue in Democrat-run California, they're also spreading to other states. Texas, as Republican as it gets, seeing these arrests in the big cities of Austin and Dallas.
They started spraying people with mace. Eventually they threw about 10 tear gas canisters, flooding that whole street with tear gas.
The president's mass deportation election promise delivering mass protests too. Now troops on the streets and a showdown in the courts. Phil Lavelle, Al Jazeera, Los Angeles.
More than 13 million high school students in China have completed a highly competitive national entrance exam, but a slowing economy means passing the exam may not be enough anymore. Al Jazeera's Catherine Yu reports.
For more than 13 million senior high school students across China, the last 4 days have been intense. They've completed several tests as part of the National University Entrance Exam, which some describe as the toughest in the world. About only 33% of these students will get a chance to earn a degree, considered a crucial stepping stone to lifelong job security.
The pressure is intense, but relatively speaking, the system is pretty fair.
For those from poorer regions, the exams, known here as the Gaokao, are seen as a student's and their family's best shot at a better life. But China's slowing economy means opportunities for young Chinese are diminishing.
Last year, 2024, about 55% of graduates got employment. And I think that tells you how tight the labour market is. So even if you get into university these days, it doesn't guarantee you a job. So I think it's incredibly stressful.
Mental health experts say an increasing amount of stress is being felt from a younger age, with some students encouraged to prepare for the exams from primary school.
Under long-term chronic pressure, where an atmosphere of extreme competition fills the whole school, it's inevitable that psychological problems will appear. Therefore, there are more and more children with psychological problems, such as depression or anxiety.
Parents waiting outside the school say they wished their children success, but support them regardless of the outcome.
A person's career isn't decided by the Gaokao. Opportunities later in life may not align with what you studied.
It's not just families who have been supporting these students. The general public is expected to get behind them too. During the exam period, roads around schools are closed and noisy construction and concerts are banned, all to give students the quiet they need to study and rest. Some technology companies are also doing their part, disabling certain functions of AI chatbots to prevent students from trying to use them to cheat. The rise of artificial intelligence has raised questions about how well the exams prepare students for modern employment. It's a question educational experts and parents around the world must tackle. Katrina Yu, Al Jazeera, Beijing.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3D weather forecast. And that's TV2 headline news for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.